Connor from Team ETB here.
And also Matt from Team ETB.
And also Franny from ETB.
We're here to talk about the tournament that Matt, our captain Dylan, and I attended over the weekend. It was in Burlington. It was Torchlight, and it was a 40-person RTT, which is pretty crazy.
Pretty big.
Yeah. All right. So getting into it, we're just going to talk about like the top 3 lists and how the general experience was. So Matt, why don't you start off for us?
So I think I don't have the list physically pulled up in front of me, but I believe the top one was Sabeti with Lumineth, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So actually, you know what? Tell us about your list first, Matt, that you took to the event.
I can speak to that. Not so much about Lumineth, but yeah. So I did not get in the top 3, to be clear. I went 2-1, and I brought Slaves of Darkness. I ran Be'lakor, 10 Knights with Dread Banner, a reinforced unit of Chosen, and then a smattering of Dark Oath, topped off with Furies for flavor. And I ran the Dark Oath recursion formation as my formation. And my tactics were Wrathful and Restless.
Right on.
Mm-hmm. Yourself?
My list, I took New Zinch. So it was Fated Blades, which is the sub-faction where roll a 9 to charge, you get +1 attack. I'm allowed to modify it and stuff. I took Lore Change, Manifestations of Zinch, Wrathful Cycles, and Scouting Force. General Reg was Kairos with 2 spawns. Fate Master, a reinforced unit of Enlightened, reinforced unit of Zangor Skyfires, and then the Curseling, who had the Kyric Tome, which is the +1 to cast, and the Silver Summoner, which is bring back non-Zangor units for a CP in the movement phase. And then I had regular acolytes, and the Jade Obelisk with the new terrain Argent Shards. And I went 3-0. So why don't you, Matt, tell us a bit about the games you played, your opponents and whatnot?
Yeah, for sure. So the first up, I'll just say in order. I played against Matt G, and he ran Healthsmiths. Then I played against Ridge, who brought Ogres, and then I played against Sataj, who ran Iron Jaws.
Nice. What would you say was the hardest game? All 3 of
so
those.
I lost to Ridge. My one loss was against Ridge. That was the middle game. But I think the most difficult game was the first one against Matt G. And I have to... Okay. Yeah, I know. Like, hot take, right? Like, shouldn't it be the one I lost? I reflected on the game against Ridge. Just real quick, super great, super fun, great guy. Even on the drive home, though, reflecting on the game, I don't think I would have done anything different other than roll the 4 for Be'lakor strike first. And I have I have no control against that. Ridge and I both played relatively cautiously, and then he got brave first, and he won because I was like, aha, the Chosen will fight first, and they did not. So that was the crux of it. But the game against Matt G, Matt and I play relatively often, and he's a good player. He's pretty smart. And although Hellsmiths aren't peak meta, he is determined to make them real good. And so we played real smart. And I narrowly eked out a win because I was able to power through his rank and file dwarf guys with my knights and get a last minute end game objective steal at the very end.
So satisfying.
Oh yeah, it was a quiet couple minutes as we saw what was happening. Like, how are these charges gonna go? Yeah, he played it really smart. All 3 of my games against all 3 of my opponents, the Chosen, Be'lakor, and all the Dark Oath died every game. I was effectively tabled at the end of every game, but I was able to eke out enough points quickly early on. And against Matt, the Knights held out. The biggest threat in Matt's list with the Hellsmiths is, even though they have those sweet artillery pieces, the real threats in the Centaurs, the ones that do the damage on the charge. Then they do crit 3 mortals. And I've heard a few people describe them as glass cannons, but they're still like 4 health each on a 4-up save. And yeah, they have no ward, but they only have to hit you once. And a reinforced unit of 6 is going to roll a lot of 6s and do a lot of 3 crit mortal wounds. So they got Be'lakor, and I was able to eke out a win through that.
Yeah, they hit so hard.
And he plays them really smart. If he was a fool with them, I'd be like, oh, easy peasy. But because he exercised caution and restraint, it was a really close game. So that was my hardest one, I would say. Yeah.
Nice. That's sick.
Yeah. Yourself, Connor?
So I had 3 games, obviously. The first game was into Dave, who I love, and his Slaves to Darkness. Second game was into Brad with his Night Haunt, who I've played a bunch of times. And then the last game was Sarah and their Skaven. Out of all of it, I would say a big part of all my wins in these games was definitely that Tzeentch is still very new, and not a lot of people fully understand what Tzeentch does and all the tricks and whatnot. I think it'll be a totally different game in about a month or so when people have gotten more reps into it. But anyway, my hardest game was definitely against Sarah, just because it was on Creeping Corruption, which is a very favorable map for both of us. I would say more so for Sarah. Their list was like 12 Storm Fiends, 12 Rat Ogres, Thanquil, and a little... I can't remember their name. The little dude with the whip who tells everybody to move faster. Oh. He's like, fuck, what's that thing called? Packmaster or something like that? Anyway. Right. Yeah, so that game was just... It was tough in the sense that we both really just didn't do much. It's like what you were saying in your game, Matt. We kind of just like sat around and stared at each other, tried to score a couple tactics. Like Creeping Corruption is fucking brutal for Scouting Force because they just wouldn't let me in their zone to score any of it. So I just kind of... Was it? No, I'm thinking Cyclic Shifts.
Yeah, that was the second one.
No, sorry. It was Wrathful. That was hard for me to get. Scouting was what won me the game.
Oh.
Yeah, so they got a little too aggressive with their Storm Fiends, and I ended up or just charging, because you can bring down the Storm Fiends in my movement phase. So they did, and they put them within 9 of my Zangor, and I was like, fuck it, I'm rolling this charge, got it, and I just exploded the Storm Fiends in one shot.
Whoa.
So it was, I think I only ended up winning that game, because I went 75 points my first game, 65, and then like 60 on my last one against Sarah. And that was by far my closest game because they only lost by like 10 points, I think it was.
Ooh. Yeah, you went 62 for your last game.
Okay, so Sarah probably got like 51 or something like that.
Yeah.
But that game was sweaty.
So you said in a month people will catch up kind of or figure out Tzeentch more. Do you also think, or do you forecast any big point changes for what's running in Tzeentch right now? Like anything that's undercosted or overcosted? No?
Nah, honestly, I feel like everything's actually pretty good. When I first looked at the book and saw Zangor Enlightened for 200 points for 3 models, I was like, bro, what? Like, that's a 60-point increase. I have no idea what they're doing to these models. But it all comes from the fact that that unit is an insane hammer, which is very fragile too, because it's only 4 wounds on a 4-up save. But that doesn't matter when you can just pop them back up in reserve, which makes them like invincible. Not literally, but like it feels like they're invincible doing that.
Yeah.
So I just think that if you're playing against Tzeentch, it's still like too early to say, but I would say just full send them. Try to pin them. Kairos can't go in the air, so if you can box them in and force them to fight on your front, like just by like putting the pressure really on them, I think you'll have a much better chance in trying to piece me apart, because that's what I'm trying to do to you, is I'm just trying to piece you apart slowly.
Interesting. So with new Tzeentch though, like what do you find catches people out the most?
The fact that I can turn 1, charge my Zangor into you like 90% of the time. It's insanely easy for me to just like teleport through my terrain piece, put a spawn out with like the spell, and then flip-flop with Smoke and Mirrors the Zangor 3 inches away from you. Or just fucking move the Zangor up the board 14 inches and be 4 inches away from you if it's an 18-inch separation, like if it's a 50-50 map.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, okay, do you have screens, first of all? If you don't have screens, did you deploy back far enough? Are your important pieces protected? No. Then this unit that's -2/3 damage with 4 attacks each probably is just going to explode whatever they touch.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, so pretty much what happened in my first 2 games was the Zangor, both blocks just obliterated everything. But Sarah just, they lost that 1 unit of Storm Fiends, and we're just like, fuck engaging you, I'm going to score my points and chill. And I was like, I'm going to do the same thing. I don't feel like engaging more Storm Fiends and Rat Ogres that are all juiced up. Is there anything you'd change in your list, though, Matt?
Yes, the tactics. So I ran Restless and Wrathful. And Wrathful's my favorite. I'm not exactly sure why. I think it's because anyone likes Wrathful because of that second one where you're fighting as the underdog. Mm-hmm. It kind of disincentivizes your opponent to take the double.
100%.
But there's already lots of reasons to not do that, especially in a Be'lakor list. Like if I run Be'lakor, in retrospect, it seems obvious my opponent won't take a double because it's Be'lakor. Like I know if you're about to do something, Be'lakor will shut something down. So Wrathful in retrospect seems kind of redundant.
Okay.
I'm going to a bunch of tournaments, hopefully, excuse me, in March. So I'm going to, I think, for the next one, I'm going to run the same list, but change the tactics to maybe Intercept and Scouting. Intercept because I got the Knights running around the board, pinning stuff down, killing stuff ideally, but I also got the Chosen. And Scouting because if I have my Unit Marauders, the Wilderfiend, the Furies, and the Knights running around, the odds are relatively high that something's going to get through to Scouting. If I turn the Marauders unit into 2 units instead of 1 unit of 20.
You definitely would if you're taking Scouting for us.
Absolutely. So, yeah, also to be clear, in this list I was running for this, the Dark Oath Marauders unit was a reinforced one, and I gave the Varanite Shackle to the Chieftain. So it's basically a 160-point unit of 20 wounds with a 5-up ward save. And
pretty much
they're so good. And when you kill them, in my hero phase on a 3-up, in my movement phase on a 3-up, they can pop up within 6 inches of a table edge, 3 inches away from you. So they're pretty Gucci considering how cheap they are. And a 20 wound unit with a 5-up ward is durable as all hell. But yeah, if I run Scouting, they're each going to get marked each in turn and then just thrown forward. And then when my opponent kills them, spectacular. Now I get the second part of Scouting because they'll come up behind your lines.
Yep, exactly. It's the same strat as my Tzeentch list using Scouting.
Yeah, they can't stop all of them. Exactly. Yep. What would you change in yours?
Nothing, honestly. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think it's the same as you. The team has a bunch of tournaments coming up this month. I think we've got like 3 or 4 of them.
Mm.
So I'm going to keep the list the same. Wrathful is a tactic I would definitely change. The only reason I'm running it is because of Team Canada stuff. Just like for team, like if I'm taking this to a team event, I'm stuck on specific tactics. So I'd rather use one bad tactic. And it goes back to what Matt was saying also in that Tzeentch actually doesn't mind getting doubled because of all the tricks I have. And then if I combine that with Wrathful, 90% of the time my opponent's just going to be like, nah, I don't want to double you. This is not worth it.
That's fair,
and like I'm an army that for that reason just likes to go first. So I think I'm just going to stick with these tactics, see how it goes at the next couple, but definitely not changing the list. I love it. And then I guess we can just hop into our next and last topic, and we'll just talk about the top 3 lists. In first was everyone's favorite Sabeti.
I can't really. Sabeti's my favorite. I don't like Lumineth, but I also don't know a ton about the new Lumineth book or rules. Like I skimmed the rules, I read the stuff online. Haven't played against him yet, so I can't really speak to the list.
Yeah, no worries. Sabeti's a great guy. Such a fucking good player. It's crazy. He was running the new Lumineth Realm Lords. He was a 3-drop using the Lore of the Awakened Realms, which I believe is the lore that has the 5-up board save and the 5-inch movement spell, where you can like push units out of combat, which is really cool. His tactics, Manifestations of Hysh, just because why not? The tactics were Master of the Paths and Restless Energy because they're good. He had Avlanor, 2 units of Reinforced Stone Guard, and a Venari Lord Regent. So that's the big cow, 2 units of 10 little hammer infantry guys. And the Lord Regent is like, Sabeti told me he took him because he's a cheap hero who lets all his units rally on 3 extra dice, which is like worth it when you got 2 monsters in your list.
Mm-hmm.
Then he took Severith, which is Severith and Eltharion. It's a package. If you take Severith, you're taking Eltharion. And if you're not taking Eltharion, you're doing Lumineth wrong. Pretty much, Severith moves 18 inches and shoots 15, and he shoots really well. And when he charges, the Light of Eltharion's ability is that if your Lumineth unit is in combat, he just teleports from anywhere on the board within one of that unit in combat. So, since Sabeti's taking Master of the Paths, he's just like, cool, I can yeet Severith up the board and kill any hero I want pretty much, unless you're like insanely castled up.
Yeah.
And then the last part of the list was the Cenarian Lightner, which is his only wizard who is a 2-cast. And she gets to like duplicate spells, which is crazy good when one of the spells is like a rend reduction spell. She's got the Silver Wand for +1 to cast and Acolyte of the Runes. We won't get into what Lumineth does, but pretty much this heroic trait is like he gets to do an additional rune to a unit, like pick an additional unit for the rune. And then he took a Riverblade unit, and that was everything in his list.
And Light of Eltharion's a 3-up, 4-up, right?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's like
my god.
It's like a better Gotrek.
It's like infinitely better, yeah. This dude actually gets around the board and shit.
Like, exactly, yeah.
He could he's got an insane shooting attack too.
That's the non-soggy version, right? This is just regular?
Yeah.
So we're stuck with this shit?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The only plus side, so he can only do that like teleport ability if he's not in combat. And his ability isn't like the Thaumaturge from Tzeentch. When he teleports into combat, he doesn't count as having charged. So he can't power through and shit, but like I don't know. For the most part, when this guy gets into combat with his rend 3 damage attacks, he's gonna explode whatever he's touching. He's like 5 attacks, 2s and 3s, rend 3 damage with crit 2 hit, and then just like 2 2s and 3s, rend 1 3 damage attacks.
That's so good. Oh my god, I love it, but I hate it.
You fucking
So there you go. I'll know that moving forward, the one hard counter to one thing in a Lumineth army is Swamp Light of Eltharion with those 20 Dark Oath Nurgle Mark. Maybe they'll live.
Yeah, maybe. Kill Severith. That's the big thing. If you can, kill that goddamn fox. In second place was me. Yay. I already told you guys about my Tzeentch list, so we don't need to go over that. But in third was the one and only Josh Aikens. Most of you listening probably know him because you're likely listening from Canada. He is like my favorite TO in the entire area. When I first started playing AOS, I went to his tournaments a bunch, and I still obviously do. The whole team loves him. Mm-hmm. He doesn't get to play as much. Maybe he does. I don't see him too often at events unless he's running them. But he took Blades of Khorne to this. Everyone's favorite Baleful Lords. Matt, do you have the list in front of you? Or you want me to say it?
I don't have the list in front of me, but I feel like I know it from memory from playing against Kyle. So
he's a 5-drop with Master of the Past and Restless. He's got Scarbrand, a Bloodthirster of Insensate Rage. Is that the Boomthirster?
Mm-hmm.
All right, then he's got an Unfettered Fury, another Unfettered Fury, and a Wrath of Khorne.
Hell yeah. And they've also, between them, they've got those artifacts and the rampages that don't let you heal when you're within range of them. And if they're in combat, they heal. And if they got into combat, they can move D6 at the end. And if they killed something in combat, they can move 2D6 at the end. And most importantly, if they didn't fight this turn on their turn, there's a chance they get hurt because their god will punish them. And that's metal as hell. Yeah. So in addition, and he obviously played it smart with Master and Restless, which is where you get points for playing the game. So Baleful Lords, you're incentivized in every way to just move forward and kill things because otherwise your stuff will get hurt. And then in addition to that, on the off chance that you haven't bricked up your Bloodthirsters altogether and one of them manages to get killed, that's fine. Because on your turn, you take the battle round and you add the number of dice equal to the number of units that have died so far in the game. You roll that amount of dice, and if you get 8 3+, that dead Bloodthirster, including Scarbrand, can come back. So
including Scarbrand?
Including Scarbrand, which Scarbrand, and in my games with Kyle, Scarbrand is typically the one I want to kill first because he's usually in combat already with 3d6 charge. And then Kyle just brings him back later, anywhere he wants, just 9 inches away, which is fine because Scarbrand's a 3d6 charge. It's so good.
It's so nuts. It was honestly a super great tournament. I'm going to give a quick shout out to, it was a 40-man RTT, so we were not the only, the top 3 was not the only 3-0s. There was also Mark Plinsky using his Ideneth Deepkin and Kevin Wardrop using his Night Haunt. So it was a tournament that had 5 3-0s in the end, which is an RTT with 5 3-0s. It's pretty crazy. I think it was based off of opponent win percentage was the highest thing. It was definitely not battle points because I had highest in battle points.
Nice.
But Sabetti won it. So all the best to him. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything we have to talk about here. It was a super great day. The three of us had a lot of fun at that tournament. Torchlight was an excellent venue. It was
always.
Yes.
Yeah,
like it's I don't go there too often, but it's a massive space, and like the terrain was all matching every single table, which that says a lot because there was a lot of tables there. It's 20 tables, so all the terrain was perfectly symmetrical, and like it just looked good too. And the event, Jesse ran the event super fucking well.
Yeah, I was just about to say Jesse put a lot of work into it, and it showed. Because it was super fun, and B, everything just kind of made sense, and C, and probably most importantly, whenever he got thrown a curveball, Jesse, he reacted really well and fixed it. And by curveballs, I mean like not really like derailing event problems, but silly things that come up where like me and Matt G, for example, I cornered Jesse before the tournament started. I said, hey, kind of last minute, can Matt G and I grudge? And this is like 8 minutes out. And he's like, yeah, sure. We'll figure it out. He made it work. Like, okay.
That's so funny. Yeah, a good thing of Jesse too. Like all TOs do it. I know Jesse's new to this, but like immediately at the start of the tournament, he like addressed the Lumineth and Tzeentch books because there's a couple little things that needed talking about beforehand.
Oh, okay.
Like, anyway, I won't get into it, but he called it out ahead of time, said exactly what he wanted, what we could do, what we couldn't do, was straightforward with everybody. Obviously, we all agreed, and it was just, it was good to get it out of the way so we didn't have the 3 Tzeentch players or the 3 Lumineth players calling him every fucking 5 minutes.
Also, Jesse, from past experience, he announced, at least to me, twice, unsolicited, that for best opponent at the end, we couldn't vote for Kyle because he wasn't there. Minor reason, if you ask me.
If that had happened, we would have given Josh a heart attack.
But yeah, no, Jesse did a great job, and overall, yeah, it was amazing.
Yep. So I guess that's everything. Thanks for listening, guys, and stay tuned for the next one. There'll be a couple more coming in March, which by the time this is out, it'll be March, because we got like 3 or 4 other tournaments. So thanks again for listening, guys, and have a good night.
Yeah, have a good one.
See ya.